So I probably should have explained that Edmond, where we've been spending this weekend, is a suburb of Oklahoma City, just to the north of Oklahoma City. The park where we were staying, Arcadia Lake, is right in Edmond, so very close to everything. And while we were here mainly just to see friends, we have been here many times before over the years with our kids, visiting their grandparents, and there are lots and lots of great things to do around here, especially with kids, or with adults too. So coming up on the right here is Frontier City, an amusement park that our kids loved. They would beg to go there at every visit. They really enjoyed it. They had a friend next door to their grandparents who would go with them, and they had a lot of good times there. One of our favorite things in this area to see is the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, which we loved. We've been there many times. Our sons loved it when they were little kids, and as they got older, really great museum. So that's always a lot of fun. Oklahoma City has a great zoo, which we've been to. There's a firefighters museum. The downtown area in Oklahoma City has been rejuvenated like a lot of downtowns, and there's this area called Bricktown, historic area with lots of shops and restaurants. There's a really nice boat ride through that downtown area that we took with my father-in-law once. So there's a lot, and there's Oklahoma City has some sports teams too. There's a baseball field down in the downtown area. They've got a basketball team, an NBA team, so there's a lot to see and do here, and we have done most of it over the years. Heading away from Oklahoma City now, but I just realized I forgot to mention that Route 66, historic Route 66, also runs right through Edmond, and not too far from where we were camped at Arcadia Lake. You can visit a couple of iconic spots along Route 66. The Round Barn and Pops, which is this really cool place that sells all kinds of wildly flavored local sodas from all over the US and maybe around the world too. Really cool place, and you can have lunch there too. So we just arrived and got set up at Lake Fort Smith State Park in Arkansas. Arkansas was always one of our favorite states when we traveled with our sons when they were younger. So many beautiful state parks here, and this one is no exception. These sites are right along the lake here. We're up a little bit, but really quiet and peaceful and beautiful. Lots of tall trees. Although you can see they're just starting to bud. We're at about the same latitude as we were in Oklahoma, but we're up into the mountains a little bit here. So we are meeting my husband's cousin's wife and her kids for dinner tonight nearby. She lives in this area, but we've got a few minutes and I wanted to walk down by the lake.
You have to walk back up, you know.
Yeah. Ooh.
You're not tall enough. It's a pretty lake.
It is. Very quiet and peaceful, too. You can see some red buds over on the opposite shore. There's a little picnic area down here. Very nice. And it does look like spring is a little earlier, at an earlier stage here. There's some buds up there. Well, pretty quiet in the campground this morning. That's us up there. A lot of people have left already. It is a beautiful campground and everything looks brand new. That's the bathhouse. Just very nice inside. Everything looks new. And just a beautiful morning. I was doing my yoga out in front of our camper and just looking out at the water and the lake, surrounded by pine trees, listening to the bird song, and I just thought, this is why I love camping. And we were talking about how this trip has been really busy, moving from place to place, visiting cities, spending a lot of time seeing friends and family, but coming back to a place like this in the evening, to our own little camper, which is like our own little home away from home. And it's just so relaxing and it just helps to rejuvenate you. Well, we are just about ready to go. I would love to hang out here all day. I should have mentioned these campsites are huge. And from the living side of our site, you really can't see anyone else. But we are driving to Memphis today, stopping to meet up with some friends in Arkansas. So we're only about 2 hours south of where we started this morning, though we were also up in the mountains this morning. But look at the difference in the trees. Everything, the leaves are out here, everything looks much greener. Both sides of the highway. And we are heading, well, our destination today is a state park just outside of Memphis. But we're stopping near Little Town, near Little Rock, to meet up with more friends. We've got some old friends that we used to visit every time we came through Arkansas when we were visiting my husband's parents. And so I messaged yesterday and we're going to meet for lunch in a little while. So we are here in Memphis at T.O. Fuller State Park. It's within city limits. As you can probably hear, it's very windy today. There is a big storm coming with chance of tornado. Yeah, so we're heading to Nashville, but the storm will be heading there as well. But this is a nice state park. The bathhouse is brand new. Probably the best shower I've had since we left 3.5 weeks ago. And yeah, and it's a nice campground. If you're just passing through like us, it's right off the highway. If you want to explore Memphis, which we have done on many trips in the past, then it's very convenient. The windshield is dirty, but look at how green and lush it is here in Memphis. We're just leaving the T.O. Fuller State Park, driving to Nashville today, and then we get to just set up and stay in one place for a few days. Cypress Grove Nature Center. We used to come here with our sons on our way out to Oklahoma. And it's just a nice little walk through the woods on this boardwalk. And it's also an area for rehabilitation of injured birds of prey. So we heard a hawk earlier. We'll see if there are some residents right now. The Erie Trail Raptor Center. So they've got these cages for them that are outdoors, but where they're protected. And there's that looks like an owl in there. You see him, Ken? Let me see. See the owl there? Yeah.
Should be 3 owls.
Oh, 3 in this?
One of them is named Ollie.
Okay.
One of them is named Dusk. And the other is named Strix.
The only one I see is that one on the pole.
Must be Ollie.
So they've got this board that tells you which birds are in which enclosures and why they're there. The owls, 2 had wing injuries, 1 imprinted on humans. There's a hawk in number 3 with a blind eye, and 2 hawks in number 4 with wing injuries. All are red-tailed hawks, so we'll go take a look at those.
Hello, Ollie. Or is that Dusk? Or Strix? He's looking at us.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
So we found a second owl. So there's the one we saw before. And way up, hiding in the dark there, there's another one. So here's enclosure number 3. And the red-tailed hawk is hiding up in the dark there, just like the owl was. There he is. He's got a blind eye. And then over here, this one's a little more lively and a little easier to see. There should be 2 red-tailed hawks in here. There's 1. There we go. Oh, there's the other one. Down here on the bottom. Wow. Now both of these have injured wings. They're recovering. Wow. Glad this place is still here. It's a unique kind of nature center. This is called Cypress Grove, and you can see all the cypress knees down in the marshy parts. Some wildflowers, nice greenery. Not as green as it was in Memphis, and we're not that far from there, but. And you can see the stormy skies too. Gonna have a few days of rain ahead, unfortunately. So we just discovered Tacos for Life, which we've been seeing ever since Texas, and finally had a chance to try. They, for every taco or other meal that you purchase, they donate a meal to a hungry child. And that's a fabulous business model, and the tacos were delicious. So we had a bit of a rough night. Huge storms came through Nashville last night. And So my husband woke me up at 3 in the morning, and I've explained how important sleep is to me with my chronic illness. And yeah, there were tornado warnings, so we went over to the restroom building, which is the only like safe place here from tornadoes. Cinder block type building with the restrooms and the laundry there. And yeah, we were there for about an hour. When that first tornado warning was extended for another 45 minutes, our truck was parked right in front of the building, so I crawled into the back seat into my nap spot. But as you can imagine, it wasn't super restful with the sirens going off. And yeah, so we're getting a late start today. And I'm exhausted. I know my husband is too, because he grew up in Oklahoma. So yeah, so he grew up with this, with tornado warnings all the time. And I know even before that warning came, he was sitting up and watching the radar and watching for warnings. So we're both pretty wiped out today. But for the moment, it has stopped raining, although it seems to come in streaks here. Have noticed a lot of people left. I don't know if that was from the storm or just that was their plans. So yeah, this is your typical RV park with just basically a big parking lot of RVs. Not my favorite way to camp, but we are hoping to enjoy Nashville. So today I did book us, a lot of the music venues. I just can't do nights, can't do evenings. I'm wiped out even on a good day, by 7 or 8 o'clock. So I booked us a lunch spot at 1 o'clock at the Listening Room Cafe, where I wanted to get to the Bluebird Cafe, which I've been to before on a business trip with some friends. This is the same kind of idea. It's a venue for live music for up-and-coming artists. But the Bluebird Cafe is really tiny, and these days it's impossible to get into. I guess, well, not impossible, but we would have had to book a lot earlier. I guess it was mentioned on the TV show Nashville, and yeah, because when I came here in the early 90s probably, it was like a little known place. Not that way anymore. So anyway, we're going to the Listening Room Cafe at 1 o'clock for lunch and to hear some music. And then I can come back and take a nap. So basically we're going to have breakfast and then go out and have lunch, because we're running a little late today. But, if the weather cooperates and the rain lets up, maybe we can, don't know if I'm up for much walking today, but maybe we can drive around a little bit. So the rain has finally let up for now. And we're just driving around before our lunch at 1 o'clock. We just did a circle around the Capitol, and then this area is called the District. Looks like kind of a hip sort of area with lots of shops and people walking, some sculptures and murals. Just kind of getting a feel for the city.
Alley.
And we're heading into what they call the District.
Get a turn here.
Next one.
Fourth.
Yeah. There's a sign saying Printers Alley. There are so many different music Hall of Fames here. It's hard to know what's what. We were hoping to tour the old RCA studios, but you can only do that as a part of the Country Music Hall of Fame tickets.
Broadway.
Oh, Broadway. Yeah, I've heard about Broadway. That's where all the live music is. So past Bridgestone Arena, the Country Music Hall of Fame. And as my husband just said, it's a very lively city. There is a lot going on at noon on a Thursday. We're going to drive down Broadway, but when we do, I'm going to have to mute the sound so I don't get dinged for copyright infringement. But we could tell just driving past it that there is a lot of live music already at noon on a weekday. A little more lively than the Music Street, than 6th Street in Austin was at this time of day.
Yeah.
Right across the street, I just spotted the National Museum of African American Music. There are just so many music museums, music hall of fames. It really is Music City. Kind of a nondescript building, but this is the Listening Room Cafe. So it's early evening now, after a much needed nap for both of us, I think. The show at lunchtime was great. We really enjoyed it. It was 3 solo singer-songwriters and 1 duo. They wrote all the music that they sang and performed. They told the stories behind the songs. There was this great camaraderie between them. They've been performing together for a while. They know each other's music. They back each other up on some songs. It was just really fun. We both really enjoyed it. And now we are just really sick of the rain. It is raining again. Everything's wet and damp. So, and we're both still really tired. So we just decided to go to a nearby mall.
At the next light, turn left.
Go see a movie and grab some Mexican food for dinner. Just to escape the weather. So the rain has finally stopped. And we're even seeing some little tiny glimpses of blue sky among the clouds. We may still get some brief showers today, but we are hoping that is the end of the severe storms and thunder and tornadoes and all of that. So we are meeting friends for dinner tonight. Old friends we used to work with in New Orleans who also lived in Delaware with near us, who moved to Nashville a few years ago. Right now we're heading out to visit the Tennessee State History Museum, which sounds pretty interesting. There it is. Parnassus Books. I've wanted to come here for a long time. This is Ann Patchett's bookstore in Nashville.
Actually, our first dog was a girl dog. Yeah.
We are leaving Nashville. We just left Nashville, and the rain has finally stopped. We did get some nice weather yesterday. There were some sprinkles during nap time, but the rest of the day was pretty nice. But it started raining heavily again this morning, just about the time we had to pack up the camper. So we got soaked, just drenched. I think the heaviest rain, was while we were outside closing up the camper, getting it hitched up to the truck, and doing all that stuff. But we are dry and in the car now, heading past Knoxville to Warriors State Park in Tennessee. It's just before the Virginia border. We've stayed there once before, but a long time ago. And this is just a quick overnight stay. We are on our way home now. Well, that didn't last long. It's been about 2 minutes since I recorded that last bit, and it's raining again. But at least we're dry. We just had a delicious lunch at La Costa Mexican restaurant. We are in Cornerville, Tennessee? No, Crossville. But the food was excellent. The service was fast. It was really, really good. Ready to get on the road again. So we are at Warrior Path State Park in Tennessee, just before you cross over the Virginia border. We stayed here once before, but there's two campgrounds. This one's more for big RVs. My husband chose it more for convenience than for beauty. The other one is more wooded and a little more private. Yeah, but this is nice and big and flat. We were able to stay hooked up last night. We got a little bit of rain this morning. We're hoping to have breakfast and pack up before it comes back. You can see the skies are pretty cloudy. But it wasn't bad last night. You know, my bed faced out into the woods there. And that wasn't bad. On to Virginia. Crossing Fort Patrick Henry Lake. And we got out at 10:45, just as the sprinkles started. Victory.
Golf course. Take a picture.
We have a long drive today, so good that we got an early start. So the Cracker Barrel across the street, which is what we saw on the map, was had a wait time of 40 minutes because it's a Sunday afternoon. So we came across the street to this funky little Lost in Taste sports bar, and it was great. The food was very good, the service was quick. Cool little decor inside, fun place. So we have just arrived at Lake Anna State Park in Virginia. It's between Richmond and Washington, D.C. So a good stopping point on our way home. We've stayed here before. In fact, I just looked back at my photos, and we actually stayed here on the exact same day, April 6th. In 2019, and we may have even been on the same site. Now this park has yurts, It has little cabins and lots of campsites too. So the trees look a little further along than they were the last time we were here on April 6th, 6 years ago. And as you can see, yes, the dark clouds have been following us. We were able to set up in the dry, but it's supposed to start raining around 11 tonight and rain right through tomorrow. So we will be packing up for a final time in the rain. Not looking forward to that, but we should be nice and cozy tonight. So this is it. Our last morning in the camper. We are packing up. Got some dirty dishes to do from breakfast. Stripping the beds. As you can see, we've got a lot of laundry. We managed the month-long trip with only doing laundry twice. 1 week into the trip at our friend's house in Houston, and then about 5 days ago, we did a couple loads at the RV park in Nashville. My medicine boxes are all empty, except for what I'm taking today. So yeah, we need to get home. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to refill all those after a long day of driving today. Well, riding for me, but yeah, so we're getting packed up. Don't know if you can hear it, but it is still raining. Supposed to rain all day, so we will definitely be packing it up wet. Hopefully it'll be light rain like it is right now so that we don't get too soaked. And by the end of today, we'll be home. Looking forward to it. We're both ready to be home. But all of this was, besides being fun, it was a test case. We've got an even longer trip this summer. All right, we are on our way home finally. Last day on the road. Wasn't too bad packing up. It was raining, but lightly. And we took advantage of a like 10-minute period of where the rain paused and got everything packed up. So we are warm and dry in the car now. It's only in the 40s this morning. My hands are still like ice cubes. And it's not a long drive mileage-wise today. It's under 200 miles, but we have to get around Washington, and we can't go through the tunnels at Baltimore, so we have to go around that area. So, so it'll probably be 6 o'clock when we get home, but we are looking forward to being in our own home again, though this has been an amazing trip.